welcome to Killer M Creations. I'm Killer M Niko, and today we'll be going over Brackey's Game Jam 2026.1. And cue my little icon, should slide over. So, before we get into the devlog of it all, I just wanted to explain Brackey's Game Jam. So, Brackey's Game Jam is a game jam that happens twice a year that brings tons and tons of developers to basically come together and make a game in 7 days. Leading up to the starting day, you are able to vote on your favorite theme. At the start of the jam, the winning theme will be announced. Then you have 7 days to complete your game, and the ratings will start after that. Make sure to follow all the rules, and most of all, have fun with it. So for this game jam, I really wanted to be part of a team, and I tried reaching out to a lot of teams really early on, and really tried to sell myself with all my experience and working on games for 10 plus years, but sadly nobody was interested. So for my first Brackey's Game Jam, I decided to put together a team. And the only place I was actually successful with it was using the community tab of itch.io. And as you can see, I reached out to a bunch of people, and I was able to finally piece together a full team to tackle on the jam. So day zero prep for us meant getting everybody together for Discord and start brainstorming, get some ideas out there, and hopefully come up with, an idea before the game jam started. Sadly for us, none of the ideas we brainstormed was the theme chosen, so we kind of went in to this game jam blind. So we held our kickoff meeting and came up with several ideas. We ended up combining some of the ideas and landed on one single idea: escape and survive stories from books. The main story we ended up focusing on is the Titanic. The game would be a 2D platformer, and as you move right, the boat would slowly tip as it was sinking. Next, we divvied up the jobs each person would tackle first for the jam. So, by the end of day one, I was able to locate some UI assets, and our programmer was able to finish the movement, finish the jumping, and finish the tilt mechanic based on the camera movement. So, with the start of day two, we had the music delivered to us for the Titanic background music, cue music. And our designer came up with a few other mechanics and stuff they wanted to introduce to the game. And they also delivered us a mood board. With how much time and stuff we had, I didn't want to try to implement all those mechanics, especially since we haven't come up with a level design yet. So I just chose one of them, which was the stamina mechanic, to kind of, ask the programmer to kind of focus on that. But since we still haven't come up with a level design or what it would look like, I kind of took it upon myself to do the art for it and to kind of design it out. I ended up finding cross sections of the Titanic and using that as my stencil for the tile set and background. Our primary artist also gave us a few mock-ups of the sprite. The team voted on which one they liked, and we went with option 3. By the end of the day, I was able to finish 3 sections of the entire boat, and I was actually pretty proud I was able to get that much done. Luckily I had that day off, so I was able to dedicate a lot of time to finishing a lot of the tile set. The next 2 days passed by very fast. For one, our composer delivered the main menu music. Two, we were able to get more of the tile set art done. I also had to code the cutscene text boxes and put in some placeholder art until the art got made. Our artist also finished the idle animation of our sprite. Since we were running out of time, we needed to choose what the second book or second stage would be, and we needed something that would already have a lot of assets done and would be easy to do. So I made the executive decision to go with Baru's idea, our composer's, and go with some kind of forest level or forest book. I then asked Kazardis, our extra dev, to hunt down some forest assets. So, on day 5, I took a personal day to spend time with friends and family, but the team kept working. I had the designer deliver the script for the initial cutscene, and I also had the composer delivered the third background music for the forest theme. So, with kicking off day 6, I realized really fast that we had a million things to do and not a lot of time to get it done. My programmer decided to get us on a mirror and to try to prioritize what tasks and stuff needed to get done so we could get there. So, at this point, I should have shrank the scope and not tried to finish the level design for Section 4 and Section 5 of the Titanic. Even though those parts were very important in where basically the two books are supposed to combine, but hindsight is 2020. Luckily, our artist delivered our climbing sprite and our movement sprite. Also, my programmer finished the mechanic for climbing and the mechanic for the stairs. So we started off the final day with our artist delivering the character art for the cutscenes and for our composer to deliver his last song, which was the cutscene music. I started off the day restylizing some of the art. Me and the programmer spent most of the day finishing all of the collisions, mapping all the sound effects, and finishing each event upon the tilt, be it bulkheads or adding water. In the remaining hours leading up to submission of our game, we finally got the main menu art done, including the buttons and the background that would also be used in the cutscenes. So we realized pretty quickly that the game had no game loop or even a finish or an ending at this point, and we knew we needed to keep the player motivated to finish. So one of the things we needed to do was shrink the level in where you can move around. So I ended up adding blocks to kind of close off paths. The second thing we needed to do was kind of point the player in the direction where they needed to go. So I ended up implementing a pan effect to the book, which would, bring you to the end of the level. And then lastly, we needed to tweak some of the mechanics so it wouldn't hinder the area that we were going to be playable in to, finish. Over the next 7 days, I would play mini games, and I would also leave comments, hoping that the game devs for that game would also come back and play our game. So, at the end of it all, we didn't get a great ranking, but we did get 819th out of 1,429 games, I think, that were submitted. So kind of somewhere in the middle. Ain't bad, ain't good. I'm hoping, to do better next time. I knew we, had a lot of bugs in the game. Our movement had issues once you kind of started moving up floors. The water and stuff like that, wasn't perfect. And then also just, trying to navigate the boat and stuff, wasn't the easiest. So, we took all that feedback and we appreciated it. Overall, I learned a lot from this. Learning to maybe try to scope the game a lot more smaller. I also learned a lot of different, techniques and stuff, dealing with people in different time zones, dealing with just different types of personalities and stuff like that. So all in all, it was a great experience. I had fun, and I do want to shout out every member. Baru, your music was amazing. I appreciate you, knocking out all 4 songs. Guy, I appreciate your designs and you just working with us. Your UI art was awesome. We also have Marie. She knocked out all of our character animations, and I think they turned out great. Kazardis, he came in and he was our extra dev, and he was able to look up assets and stuff like that, even though we understood he wouldn't have a whole lot of time to dedicate to us. And then also our programmer, Lumen, knocked it out of the park. Introduced me to multiple different types of techniques. I saw a lot of different coding and stuff like that I'm probably going to take and implement into my own games. It was just a lot of fun working with everybody, and I appreciate you guys greatly. Hey, I honestly don't know what's next. I really enjoyed working with my teammates, so I might look at working with them again on a future jam. Otherwise, I don't really have anything else on the horizon, but I do appreciate you guys watching till the end. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy my videos, and I appreciate it as always. Have a wonderful day.